If your live bait keeps getting your slip bobber rigs tangled up, I want to share something with you that will ensure your bait will never tangle your rig ever again. This is caused when the main line sags in the water, allowing the baitfish to swim over and around the line, creating that big mess. So to keep the line from sagging in the water near the baitfish, I want to share with you the straw float slip bobber rig. I'm going to give you a step-by-step breakdown of how to make one, and then afterward we'll give it a field test. To make this, I'm going to need a hook, some beads, a barrel swivel, a sliding weight, a slip bobber, a small cigar float, a plastic straw, a bobber stop, and some line that's lighter than my main line. This is going to be for the leader, which is what we're going to start with. You'll notice whenever I start taking line off of the spool right here for my leader, it's got a lot of line memory in it, and we definitely do not want that because that can risk getting this whole thing tangled up when we're out there casting it. Now, you could either do this with your hand or get a piece of leather like an old belt or something. You just pinch the line between your fingers and then just start pulling it through. Make sure you pinch it real tight, and what we're doing is by pinching it like this, we're removing that line memory. And that line memory is really dangerous. If it's got nice tight coils on it, that can really risk us getting our rig all tangled up. It could be a total mess, and you might have to make a new one. So just like that, boom, we have no line memory. Let's cut off a piece of this line. I like my leaders to be anywhere from 1 to 2 feet, so I'm going to cut off a piece of line that will help me do that. Now I'm going to tie on the hook with an easy Snail knot. It's my favorite knot when I'm using circle hooks for catfish. I'm going to thread the line through the eye of the hook, and then with the tag end, I'm going to make a little loop on the back end of the shank. Pinch that to keep it in place. And with the tag end, I'm going to wrap it around the shank and the main line about 10 times. This knot is just so wonderful whenever you're wanting to get extra action, just a little bit of extra action when you're getting the hook set on some catfish, like with the circle hooks. You don't really have to set the hook like you would with the J hook. You just kind of let the fish set the hook itself. It'll just slide down to the corner of their mouth, pierce their jaw, and boom, you got a fish on. And the easy Snail knot helps with that kind of action. So now that I've made my wraps, I'm going to push all of them together along with the loop that I want to maintain control of. Then with the tag end, I'm going to thread it through that loop, and then on the main line here, I'm going to pull all those wraps up to the eye. Now I'll trim most of the tag end here. Now I'm going to tie on my barrel swivel with a Polymer knot, keeping in mind I want this thing to be about 1 to 2 feet. You don't want a super long leader, because if you're going over 2 feet, you're just running the risk of getting your leader all tangled up in the rest of the rig. A shorter leader is definitely the way to go, because the length of the rig is really going to be determined with the bobber stop. I've just about got this Polymer knot on here. So before I tighten this thing all the way, it's really good practice to lubricate the knot with some spit or water so it slides together easier and doesn't put unwanted wear on the line. Now that it's wet, I'll just go ahead and pull on the knot, completing it. I'll trim the tag in here. That completes the leader. Now let's move on to the main line. First, I'm going to deploy a bobber stop. This thing is going to help us control the depth of the rig. So go ahead and slide the string off onto the line, remove the little plastic tube, and then with both tag ends, I'm going to pull it in opposite directions as tight as I possibly can. I want to make sure this thing is good and snug against the line so it doesn't go anywhere. All right, let's give it a look. Oh yeah, that's perfect right there. Now I can go ahead and trim both tag ends there. Next, I'm going to add a plastic bead. This right here will keep the bobber stop from slipping all the way through the slip bobber. I'll show you guys why that is here in a second. And then we can move on to the straw float. I've got my cigar float here. Now I'm going to push this little plug down into the entrance here a little bit. I just want to stretch out the hole on the top here to make the straw a little bit easier to slide through when I do that. Take my pliers, pull it out, insert it to the other side, do the exact same thing, just stretching it out a bit, and then pull it back out. Now I'm going to set the plug off to the side. I'm going to take my straw. This is just a really cheap straw. You get a box of these things right here. I mean, you can get these things at Walmart for like $1.50. Just take this, you know, it's got one of these little bendy straws. I want to do the other side here because it'll be a little bit easier. There's a little more structure to it. I'm going to smush this thing down, and then I'm going to do that just about the length of the float. Then I'm going to fold it in half. This will make it a little easier to insert the straw into the float. So now that I've done that, I'm going to insert the straw through the bottom and work it until it pokes out the top. Now, you got to be careful with this because I don't want to damage my straw. I'm going to take my pliers, pinch the whole thing, and just pull it a little bit more out of there. Now I want to open this thing up. Now I'm going to take my pliers and kind of open up this end of the straw. Going to be really careful so I don't split it or anything. What we're going to do is open this up so I can insert that plug into it. Show you guys what we're going to do with it after that. Once I've got it opened up enough, I'll take my plug, run it into the top just like this. Probably insert about half of it in there, is what I want to do. So I've got it in there just like this. I'm going to start pushing it all the way into the float. It's getting really tight like that, and boom, you can see now the straw is pinched firmly inside of the float, and now we can add it to the rig. So you can see this float has a little hole on top. I'm gonna slide the line down through that, and it's gonna come out the other side. You see that right there. Boom, we got ourselves a straw float. Now we can add our big float. This is my big catfish float made by Carlisle. I'm gonna insert it through the top, run it all the way through until it pokes out the bottom. Boom, now we can move on to the next piece, which is going to be another bead. Go ahead and slide that on there. And now I can add a sliding weight. Now it's important to select the correct size weight. This one is about an ounce. And the reason why I'm going with an ounce is your ultimate goal with any slip bobber rig is to make sure that the float, this float right here, is mostly submerged in the water. Basically, where I want the water line is to be somewhere on the black here, because if it's just like, let's just say that the water line is right here, I don't want that float sitting on top of the water line like this. That means your rig below the float is too light. There's just not enough weight with the sliding weight and your bait. But you also don't want this thing so heavy that the entire float is submerged under the water. You got to find that sweet spot where the bobber is mostly submerged underwater. It's probably about 66% underwater. Next, I'll add another bead. This bead is actually going to protect the knot that I'm going to tie to the leader from the weight, because over time, if this weight is just constantly banging on the knot tying your main line to your leader, it can weaken that knot over time. And if you hook into a really big fish and that knot's really weak, it could break. And we don't want that to happen, obviously. Now I'm going to tie on the leader with another Polymer knot. And earlier I said that I want the leader to be weaker than the main line, that is a lower test line. The reason for that is if this thing ever gets hung up on something that is just not breaking free and I have to break the rig, theoretically the leader should break before the main line because it's just a weaker test. And that way I won't lose my entire rig. Not everybody does this. I quite often do this because I don't want to lose a bunch of gear. I've lubricated my knot. I'm going to pull it all the way tight here, trim the tag end. Now let's give it a field test. I've got a live bluegill on my rig. I'm going to cast it out here into the creek mouth and let it cook out there for a little while. And if nothing hits it, we'll bring it in and see how the rig did. Of course, you want to make sure that your casting mechanics are good to go so that your rig doesn't tangle up that way. And if it gets down to the depth like it should, you should have no problem. Let's see how this one does. It's been sitting out there for about a half an hour. Let's bring it in and give it a look. Well, would you look at that? Didn't catch a fish with it yet, but that bluegill is still kicking. And as you can see, the rig is tangle free, which is exactly what we were looking for. And if you guys aren't fishing up in the water column like I am today, you're fishing out on the bottom with some cut bait, check out this video right here for a rig that is perfect for that. I hope to see you guys over there. Thanks for watching this one. I hope to see you in the next one.